Let's look at the next one. What is the best way to revise sentence 19? One thing that they love to do on proofreading questions is they love this word, best. What is the best way to do this? The reason why they love to use the best in their questions is because a lot of times people will look at their answer choices, they'll find the first answer choice that's just kind of okay, and then they'll circle it and they'll be done with it. But I've seen quite a few times where one of the answer choices is okay, but then later on you find an even better one. That's why, just like on question 1, once I find an answer choice that's okay, I don't just automatically circle it. I still go look through the other answer choices just to make sure that it is the best one I could get, that there's nothing better. So let's check this. They want us to revise sentence 19. Now, when they say revise, they're saying that there might not be a problem with sentence 19. There might not be a mistake, but they think that there's a way to write it better. Maybe it'll make more sense. Maybe it'll do a better job of describing. Just that we can make it better. We can do better than that. So let's go find sentence 19. Here's sentence 19. I'm going to circle that. And it says, my mother shrieked about approaching strange animals and warned me. Okay. At your house, have you ever had something break, like a washing machine or maybe like a sink or something like that? Just a real quick show of hands if that's ever happened to you at your house. The washing machine or maybe the dishwasher or the sink or something breaks. Happens a lot, right? Hopefully not all the time, but it happens. Now, when something like that breaks, sometimes you might know how to fix it yourself. Like maybe mom or dad or grandma or grandpa knew how to fix it. They could fix it themselves. But sometimes they don't, right? Maybe it's too complicated, or maybe it's something they don't really know about. So they have to call somebody to help you come fix it, right? These kind of sentences are just like that. This sentence, something's going on with it. We want to fix it. We want to make it better. So we're gonna use a couple of steps, like a checklist, to make it better. But because of the checklist, it kind of sounds like you're calling a person, like you're calling someone to help you out. So the list we're going to use is MRVC. Okay, so this is like our repairman. It's going to come help us. Mr. VC. Okay. Mr. VC tells us to check 4 things. First, we check the meaning of the sentence. That's what the M stands for. So the M stands for the meaning. The meaning is what's going on in the sentence. What is happening? So let's check that first. My mother shrieked about approaching strange animals and warned me. What's happening in that sentence? What does it mean when it says my mother shrieked? What does that mean? Bradley, what does that mean? My mother shrieked.
She was like,
Okay, so she was like screaming, right? Like yelling.
I don't think she'd go that crazy. Like, hey, like, oh.
Okay, so maybe just speaking louder, right? So my mother shrieked about approaching strange animals. What does that mean? Approaching strange animals. Jadine?
To not go to them.
Okay, to not go to them. So
Or touch them.
Or touch him. Okay. So his mom, we maybe say yelled or raised her voice or something about not going near strange animals, about not going toward them, and warned him. Okay, so that's the meaning. The next thing we do, we look to see if there's any repetition. Do we see the same word over and over again? So like if it said, my mother shrieked very, very loud. Or the orange cat with the orange paws. But if I look at this sentence, my mother shrieked about approaching strange animals and warned me. I don't see them using the same words. I don't see them repeating themselves. So the repetition is okay. We look for the verbs. When you look at the verbs, the V stands for, you need to make sure that you're paying attention not just to what words are they using, but when is this happening? Is this a past tense like it happened in the past? Is it present tense like it's happening right now? Or is it future tense like it's going to happen tomorrow or next week? My mother shrieked. There's my verb. If my verb is shrieked, when is this happening? Is this happening in the past, in the present, or in the future? Who can tell me? Kaylee?
Past.
This is past. Something has already happened. The last thing we check for is complete sentence. That's what the C stands for. Remember, if you're checking if something is a complete sentence, you can say, I believe that, and read your sentence. If it sounds okay altogether, then you've got a complete sentence. If it sounds kind of strange or like something is missing, then something's missing and it's not a complete sentence. So let's try it. I believe that my mother shrieked about approaching strange animals and warned me. Sounds all right. One thing I do notice is they do have another verb here. It's also a past tense. Warned. So I know that the sentence has to be talking about his mom maybe not getting angry, but maybe she was like scared or nervous about him going toward animals that he doesn't know. We know that it happened in the past because of the words shrieked and warned. So now that I know that, we can go look at our answer choices and pick our best one. Now I know I wrote it on the other side, the side with story, but I want to make sure I also write it on this side. What are those 4 things I'm checking? Who is it that I'm asking to help me out here? Mr. VC. I'm looking for the meaning. I'm looking for any repetition. I'm looking at the verbs. And I'm making sure the sentence is complete. Okay, so let's try answer choice F. My mother shrieked about approaching strange animals that warned me. Is this sentence telling us the same thing? Is the meaning still the same? Is the same thing happening here? My mother shrieked about approaching strange animals that warned me. They changed something here. And it's strange because changing just one word can change your meaning. Who knows? What's that one word that they changed? My mother shrieked about approaching strange animals that warned me. Haley, do you see the word that they changed?
That it was yeah, I gotta look and warn me.
Ah, okay. So this one, they changed the word and to the word that. And you know what, Kaylee? I absolutely love what you did right now. Instead of just trying to remember, you flip the page, you look back at the story. You know what? I'm going to give you a dojo point for that. That's fantastic. So many people, when they work on things like this, I don't know why. I can't tell you guys why it's never made sense to me. But so many people, they act like when they turn their page over, that like it super glues it shut or like their story disappears or something. I've seen so many people when they turn their page to the questions, like they pretend like it turns into a 1,000-pound page and they can't turn it back and look at the story. There's a reason why they don't take the story away from you. They want you to be able to look back at the story, to read it again, to double check things. So do not ever be afraid of going back and looking at your story. But you're right. This used to be the word and. And just that one word changes the meaning of the sentence. My mother shrieked about approaching strange animals that warned me. Kaylee, who's the one that's warning him about getting near the cat? Is it the animal
Mother.
or is it his mom?
His mother.
His mom. I'll be honest, I would be scared if a cat warned me about getting near it. Like if I was walking down the street or if I was on the bus or the subway and a cat looked at me and said, "Don't get near me." I'd be way more scared of that cat than I would be if my mom had told me don't get near it. That changes the meaning of my sentence. If it's changing the meaning of my sentence, if it's changing what happened, then I don't want it. I want the meaning to stay the same. So I'm going to put a letter M next to that answer choice because they changed the meaning, and I'm going to cross it out. Because if my meaning changes, I don't want to do that. I want my meaning to stay the same. Answer choice G. My mother shrieked as she warned me about approaching strange animals. Okay. They changed something else here too. Who can see what's the difference? What did they change about answer choice G? What did they do that's different from how it is in my story? Jadine?
They added a period.
They added a period right here. Now, Jadine, when I'm writing, can I just kind of put periods wherever I want?
No.
No.
Because then it won't make sense.
It won't make sense. Periods are not sprinkles, they're not decorations. I can't just put them wherever I think they need to go or wherever I feel like it. I've got to have a reason to put them there. So, I will tell you this. I can't say every single time. Not every single time, but most of the time, if they're adding a period on a Mr. VC question, most of the time, that answer choice is wrong. There's been very, very few times that I've seen them put a period in the right place on a Mr. VC question. A lot of times they try to just put a period in there to see who's going to fall for their trick and pick that answer choice. Yes, Jaylene.
I was ready for the next question.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to ask you for the next one, okay? But hang on. Now, just to be sure, if I see them add an extra period, I'm going to check and make sure that those sentences are complete. So again, I'm going to say, I believe that, and then I'm going to read my sentence. I believe that my mother shrieked. Okay, that's fine. That's a complete sentence. I believe that as she warned me about approaching strange animals. No, the first part sounded okay, but the second part sounded messed up. There was something missing from that second part. So if I try to put a period there, I'm not going to make the story better. I'm going to make it worse. I'm going to mess up that story, and I don't want that. I don't want to mess up the story. So here, it's not a complete sentence anymore. So I'm going to put the letter C, and I'm going to cross that answer choice out. H. So Jaylene. H says, my mother shrieked about approaching strange animals. She warned me. What did they do different for answer choice H?
They added a comma.
They added a comma. Jaylene, are commas like sprinkles or decorations? Can I put them wherever I want?
No.
No. It's like periods, right? I have to have a reason to put them there. They're not decoration. They're not sprinkles. I can't just go, you know what? I don't like this. Let me put some commas in there and oh, it's going to be so much better. No, that's not the way it works. Remember, commas are there to separate things that need to be separated for them to make sense. Here they're trying to separate animals and she. My mother shrieked about approaching strange animals. She warned me. Does that need to be there, Jaylene? Who's the one warning him?
The mom.
The mom. The mom's the one warning him. So do you think I should have she warned me next to where they're talking about the strange animals? Are the animals the one warning him? Probably not.
No.
So my meaning's a little bit messed up here. I'm going to put a letter M, and then I'm going to cross that out. Let's check Let's check the last answer choice. I don't know why all those words got mixed up in my mouth. Sorry about that. My mother shrieked and warned me about approaching strange animals. So let's go through our checklist. The meaning. Is the mom still warning him about the animals? Yeah. Is the mom like talking loud, or is she screaming or yelling about the animals? Yeah, still in there. Okay, so the meaning is fine. Now let's check for repetition. Did they use some words over and over again? My mother shrieked and warned me about approaching strange animals. I don't see any words they're repeating, so it looks okay there. Let's look at the verbs. Shrieked and warned. If I go back to my sentence, look at the verbs they used. Shrieked and warned. So they didn't change the verbs. The verbs are still the same. Still happening in the past. Okay, last step. We have to check to see if we have a complete sentence. So let's see if we have a complete. I believe that my mother shrieked and warned me about approaching strange animals. Sounds good. Is missing. So the meaning was okay. There was no repetition. The verb stayed the same. It's a complete sentence. It checks all of the boxes. That means that answer choice J is a great answer choice. That means that's the one I want to pick.